I'm down here to your right.
Thank you very much.
No problem. So first time back in the octagon in 3 years, almost to the day actually. What did it feel like in there? Was it any different? What was kind of going through your mind?
It felt like just where I left off, and I just didn't really pay much attention except for just get the job done.
Was the game plan always to try to get him in the clinch and up against the cage?
No, I planned it on kicking him in his face, but it just kind of went how it went. I didn't even work any of that clinch stuff. It just was like I was just like, I'm either gonna do all this stuff I was drilling and working on, or I'm just gonna get into a full-on fight with him and add that shit to it.
In the third round, you had him in big trouble. He kind of he fell, and then I mean he was close to being out there. You think the fight was over at that point?
Yeah, I thought it was the beginning of the end for sure, but I just went in there and went. I warmed up in the back really good, and I was going hard, and then I kept warm when I went out, and then I started fighting because I didn't want to. I know the 5-minute round fight, and my last couple fights were 5-minute rounds, so I wanted to go in there like my first round was my third or fourth round, and so I went in, and first minute in from the intensity and how long I was going, I was already tired, so I didn't have the full juice to ease up and full on take him out. I felt like that's the way I had to approach the 3-round fight.
The last thing for me, Dana was in here before, and he said that the last thing he thought you would say after the fight was calling out Jorge Masvidal. Why did you do that?
Just because you got to recognize who's the best of the best in this game, and it's not who they're saying it is. It's who I'm saying it is. It's the guys who've been in here for forever and now are still on the top of the game. Like Pettis just knocked out Thompson, who was just fighting for the 170 title a whole bunch of times, and then he fights Pettis. Pettis just knocks his ass out real quick. Who's the real baddest dude in the 170 division? And then they were trying to pump up a dude, and then Masvidal goes in there and knocks his ass out after he's been in here since I started fighting in 2004, I think. And then I think he's either been there right then or a little longer, and he just did that. So, and I just did that. So that's the best fighter to me, the best martial artist who's still on top of the game. Like I said, I've been through waves of these guys. There's a couple guys who come in and then they fight for a title or peak in, have 3 good fights. They fight for a title, they get the belt, then they get their ass whipped, then they have another loss, maybe have another win and then another loss, and then they're gone with the win. And that's not the best fighters to me. I've been here in 40 years, fighting, still killing. Remember, like, who was his, like Jake Ellenberger was like peaking for a minute, and then he was the guy, and then he just got worked over, and then he had a couple fights, and he was just gone. And then like Rick's story, and I can't even think of other examples, but there's a whole bunch of people. Grant Manor was one of the best guys for a minute, and he's just gone. Everybody's just hearing and gone, and hearing and gone. I'm like, what's up? I'm still here. And those are the best fighters in the world to me.
Nate, it seems like Masvidal's interested in this fight. When ideally would you like to compete again?
If everything works out right how it's supposed to work out, then I'll fight next month. If nobody's in a hurry, I want to get this done how it's supposed to be done and do it right and treat it like it should be treated, I ain't even in no rush. So it's not me who's going to be doing the sitting out. It's them that's going to be holding me out, or people not jumping on and trying to get it done. And that's where I've been for the last 3 years, because I never stopped training camp. No one was showing any acknowledgement for being the best fighter in the world, which I am. Just like Masvidal, that's what I'm saying. Like, why ain't nobody fucking like, what? That's the guy to fight. He just beat the best guy, and he's been around doing this the whole time. So I'm into the best martial artist in the world, not like some hold on to you wrestlers who are gonna hold you and hopefully win around and find a loophole to win in these fights and put belts on their waist. Now we're fighting for the baddest motherfucker in the game, belt, and that's mine. So I'd like to defend it against Jorge Masvidal. So if you want to be the baddest motherfucker, that's how we're gonna do it.
Tonight was the highest gate in a California MMA event, especially for the UFC, and sounds like this pay-per-view is trending really well for the UFC. Dana White came in here earlier and he said, I guess Nate Diaz is a needle mover, and obviously referenced that comment a few years ago. Do you feel like you're kind of getting that appreciation finally that you spoke about for so long?
Yeah, he knew then too, though. That's not gonna be a good friend. That's not a good business move to tell me I'm the shit. You know what I'm saying? Because then I'm gonna be like, give me the shit money. So give me some I'm the shit money. You feel me? And then he had to do what he had to do. So I ain't mad at him either for that. So but it's cool that he's acknowledging the fact that.
Yeah, no, he said he feels you're, Conor McGregor, Ronda Rousey level star coming out of this performance.
Yeah, for sure. You like that? Yeah, my show.
Congrats, Nate. Right in front of you. Just curious, I think you said in the cage, if I'm not mistaken, a lot of these guys suck, and that's why you weren't around. I wonder if they sucked, wouldn't it make sense just to go in there and get a lot of easy wins and make easy money and build up your bank account instead of sitting out all that time?
Yeah, but look from the outside perspective. If you're watching a fight, or if you even want to be a fighter, like I'm looking for a badass fight. You know what I'm saying? Somebody to fucking whip someone's ass and recognize the other guy who's whipping someone's ass and be like, hey, I'm the head ass whooper here. I want some of you then. And I did that with Conor. Because they were promoting him like he was the top don of this whole thing, and he was brand new, and that was making me hot. It was nothing personal against dude, because all respect for anybody who's going to get there. You know what I'm saying? You got to get yours. But if you're going to just not, like, acknowledge the fact that I'm here and been here, and, like, when you start, like, when did Pettis start fighting? And Conor. Them fools was probably watching me fight on the UFC when they was in high school. I'm like, you better recognize it, and I'm disrespected. That's why I gotta get these fights. Like, what's up? And that's the shit I want to see if I'm watching the game. Like I always say it like this. Like, you ever like when you get a video game like Street Fighter, like who are you gonna pick? Who are you gonna pick? You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to pick the baddest looking motherfucker right there who does the coolest shit. And I believe that. I believe that. I believe that I'm the coolest at all these sorry ass motherfuckers who are just sat around for 3 years and let me whip Conor McGregor's ass, and then nobody said nothing. Like, what? I would have been like, that's the best, baddest dude. He called out dude. He got the fight. He whipped him, and then they robbed him, and then he's out for 3 years. Like, why didn't somebody step up like, hey, if he's out for 3 years, get your ass back in the game. I'm going to whip your ass. And then I'm like, oh, I got to step back in the game real quick and fight that guy, because I can't be going to the coffee shop and have somebody say, man, that guy said he's going to whip your ass all over the place. I'm like, no, he's not going to whip my ass. That's why I'm going to fight him. So there's your blueprint. And none of these fighters know how to do that, because none of them have imagination. None of them hadn't played Street Fighter or watched a cool movie before. And like, where your head there, you little jock wrestler? You're gonna just sit there and do all this politically correct shit? But this is a fight game, dude. Quit acting like this is some professional sport and saying whatever they want to give me is gonna be fine. Saying, no, I'm gonna take what's mine, and that's what I'm talking about with the baddest motherfucker title. And I need that belt made as soon as possible. You're cocky, Nate. They're like.
Two last questions. Number one, you beat Conor, obviously, when he was at the height of his popularity. Do you think this win exceeds that because you were away for 3 years, and even though you mentioned you had never stopped training, you hadn't fought in 3 years, and you beat a really good fighter? And two, Colby Covington was over there. I don't know if you heard, but the crowd was chanting, fuck you, Colby, and giving him a hard time. He was carrying a belt with him tonight. Would you consider fighting him at some point, too?
Who's it?
Covington?
What weight?
Welterweight?
I don't know who that is. So, like, if we got somebody good to fight, that's who I want to fight. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You got to do something. If you've been here for 2 weeks and get a little hype show, I don't give a shit.
All right, Nate, congratulations on your win down front.
Thank you very much.
No problem. So a lot is changing in your personal life since we last saw you fight, namely your daughter. And has being a father now changed the way you approach the fight or just the way you think about the entire game?
I've been a father for years. Fathering all kinds of these little motherfuckers.
Okay. Oh, Nate, you're amazing. Listen, you have been out such a long time. Obviously, that third fight with Conor is something a lot of people want to see. Is there any chance that that could happen by the end of the year? Conor, third fight, December, possibility?
If that's something that works into the schedule, I'm gonna fight the baddest dudes, the biggest, baddest shows that people want to see. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to do. So it's up to the everybody who's involved in that. If they want it, they're gonna call me and tell me they want it.
So why do you think it is that people didn't call out your name? Is it partly because maybe they want to fight somebody in the rankings and you're such a big risk to fight you and you weren't maybe?
I don't think they know how to do it. I don't think anybody knows how to do it. Everybody's beginners. They're also or scared or something. But like I said, I with all like I don't want to be all fooling myself and riding on a high horse and cocky and shit. But I got way too much money to be having to fight somebody that's not interesting. You know what I'm saying? I'm an entrepreneur. I got all kinds of shit going on, and it's been good and fun. And no matter how much money I make and how much I do, it just isn't as. It's not like after a while you're just like I have to do what I've been doing, because this shit's just not the lifestyle I like. I like the healthy living lifestyle, training for something, getting a job done, and the feeling of getting a job done of what I started in the first place that led to all this other stuff. That's what I'm into.
So obviously your brother Nick does this too, or used to do this too anyway. We haven't seen him in a while, but what do you think about the fact that you've kind of eclipsed him now? I mean, Nick was here first maybe, but you may last the longest.
No, I'm just out here keeping the Nate Diaz army, keeping the Nate Diaz. I'm representing for him. Mainly, that's my main thing from the beginning. Fighting was making sure that I made Nick and Caesar proud and happy with what I'm doing, even though he's probably got a lot of criticism for me. When I go see him right now, I know he's gonna give me all kinds of things. And I appreciate it, but that's what he's the best fighter in the world, and I think the same thing with him. Like I came here to just spit it and get the job done, so I can spit it. That everybody's weak. What are you gonna do? You're gonna just sit there and not? How are you gonna fight somebody if nobody's fucking wants to fight? It's like I ain't no bully. I don't want to just go beat nobody up. That's not fun to me. That's not fun to him. But if nobody wants to get it, it's not very motivating to just sign up for fights, straight up.
So he's not completely done, though. There's a possibility your brother could still fight?
Yeah, what's up? They should do something. Somebody needs to, I mean, I'm not trying to tell people to go yelling at Nick, but, like, I don't think there's nothing that's very interesting to him right now.
Okay, thank you.
I keep hearing GSP dabbling a little bit. I don't know what to deal with that, but if he ever came back to the table, I'm sure that'd be good. And for both of them, they're both just both sitting there with nobody to fight because they're the best fighters in the game, and nobody's recognizing that. And like, I mean, you know, they have a little bit, but it's like, okay, that's in the past. That's not in the past. That's like they're still here, and I feel like it's probably uninteresting to them, both of them. So that's just my thoughts on that. I don't mean to speak for Nick at all. Nick's fucking probably got a whole nother thought on all this. I probably just pissed him off too.
Well, bring him out here then. Come on.
Yeah.
Thanks, Nick.
I gotta go meet him at the thing.
Nick over here. It's clear you have a business savvy during the media workout. I mean, the CBD thing was all theatrics, but you're also plugging your company. How do you want to leverage this new opportunity you have as a star, as Dana White says, as a needle mover to make the money and the fights that you actually want? How are you going to actually position yourself?
I don't understand the question. I think I'm positioned. I don't get it. What was the question?
So essentially, how are you going to leverage this new opportunity that you have to get the money and the fights that you want?
How am I going to leverage it? I feel like it's leveraged.
And then speaking of the CBD, you mentioned you're going to indulge in some weed right afterwards. How soon do you plan on doing that?
As soon as I get out of this damn arena, they won't let me smoke till I'm gone. Hey, speaking of that, shout out to my boy Big Lon and the Taylor Gang, because I've been hanging out with Big Lon, and I got a lot of good ideas from him and his team, for sure. Thank you, everybody.